Well, I want to talk about Jerry's response first. The entire, if you can call it a press conference, I know it wasn't really press gathering, was kind of surreal, and even by Jerry's standards. Now, I don't always, sometimes we play sound on the show, and I don't watch the entire 12-minute, press because, to be honest, I know Brew's going to do it. Brew's going to do it.
I do.
Well, yeah, no, you don't.
I do. Me and Brew watch it together.
Sometimes Wilds is hearing the sound for the first time as we're playing. But live reaction. But Brew has full context. But this one, I wanted to see the full thing because there were some quotes that I had read about where he's like, sometimes it's like when you go to your mom and she says no, and then you go to your dad. And I was like, well, that might be really disrespectful to Micah. But then when I heard it, I was like, wait, I think in this analogy, Micah and his agent are the mom and the dad, and Jerry is the child. It was bizarre. The whole thing was bizarre. But what is very, very clear to me is two things. One of which is Jerry feels like they had an agreement, and he wants to stick to it. And I think that is a unethical way to do business.
Yes.
And I heard what Coach was saying Friday when he said, sometimes you do want to get with the player one-on-one and talk it out, whatever it is.
And I think that's
I think that's totally fine. What I do not think is right is if a player does not think we are going to be talking about numbers and a contract, and then it comes up and he engages, to then be like, all right, shook on it. You know what I mean? Like you and I said, deal's a deal, because that is not Micah's expertise, and it is, whether it's actually Jerry's expertise or not, it's something he has done for years and years, and he loves doing it. My other big takeaway is this. Jerry wants to be the star of this negotiation.
Yes.
He made that very clear in this. He was like, he said, to paraphrasing, he's like, you're not dealing with the Dallas Cowboys on this deal. You're dealing with me. He's like, on the big ones, you deal with me. And so I think ultimately it gets done. I don't think Micah gets traded. I do think Jerry ends up caving. But I also think, because he once again, Brew, in this press conference said they weren't as loud for Micah as they were for CD. He keeps poking. Yeah. And he keeps, to me, insulting the guy while being like, I love Micah. And so I think even if it gets done, I think they've damaged the relationship.
Yeah. And we've already heard, they're just kind of doing a rehash here because Nick wasn't there on last week, which is what they said. And so I don't want to rehash the conversation again completely as a whole. I mean, I'm largely in agreement with what Nick is saying, but to me, what really stands out to me are two things specifically about Jerry Jones and what he's saying, where he's kind of just like, oh, this is like a relationship and stuff like that. And it's just like, if you have to get your husband, your wife, your boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, in order to get what you want from them, you have to threaten divorce or threaten to break up with them, that is obviously an incredibly fundamentally flawed and downright terrible relationship. And to me, that shows you and highlights what we've known now for years, just how bad and broken the culture of the Dallas Cowboys really is. We can say, well, that's just business. That's just the way it goes. We got to play hardball. Sometimes players have to just demand a trade request and this, that, just a song and dance. And once upon a time, and in some industries, that could be accurate. That could be accurate. That could be true. You're just like, it's just one of those things that has to happen. But when you're actually dealing with humans and the psychology of it all and real human beings and the behavior and the culture, and it's, in order to maximize performance, you need to maximize the behavior and the psychology and the culture. It's not just, I just need you to understand that 1 + 1 = 2. And no matter what else happens, no matter what else is going on, you'll always know 1 + 1 = 2. It's like, that's not how football works. It's why managing personalities and culture and peak performance and all of this type of stuff is its own beast entirely. And when you constantly have a culture where you're just like, where you have the owner Like the most powerful person in this organization is just like, don't lose any sleep over it. This is just part of the game, right? Like it's like to him, it's equivalent as when you're playing football, and like of course you're not going to be winning every single game start to finish. So when the score is 14-7 at halftime, yeah, you know, no matter what team you are, whether you're the best team in the NFL or the worst team in the NFL, you shouldn't be losing sleep. You're not going into the locker room and being like, oh my gosh, I can't believe we're down by a touchdown. A whole touchdown? A whole 7 points? What are we going to do? Well, I just don't understand. How are we ever going to get over it? And like, he's treating it as these types of negotiations are like, that's just part of it, man. Sometimes it's 14-7. You can't be expected to be up 28-0 at half every single game. Like, that's just what it is. You're down 14. Sometimes you're going to throw an interception. What am I going to lose sleep? Josh Allen throws interceptions. Joe Burrow throws interceptions. Patrick Mahomes throws interceptions. Like, sometimes you're going to throw an interception. I'm not losing sleep over it. That's how it works. Steph Curry, does he make every single three? Of course not. But now, he's like in a relationship where him and his partner are getting in insane fights. And every weekend, it's saying, I hate you. I want a divorce. And she gets in the car and drives away. And he's like, nah. She's just being what she just needs to sleep it all. She's gonna sleep at her sister's house for the weekend. It's all the same thing. This is just what relationships are. This is just marriage. This is just marriage. Everyone deals with this. And it's like, no, they don't. No, they don't. Lots of teams don't do this. Lots of marriages and relationships aren't constantly being threatened with divorce and having their partner having to sleep, you know, at their parents' house or something. So, like, this is the fundamental flaw of what you think is just part of the game when it's downright damaging the game. Downright damaging it. It's your inability to understand the evolution of what we expect from these players and what we need to give to them. And I'm going through this ironically with Commanders fans, and I'm going to turn this into a separate video. But people are kind of like, and we did this, and there was the same thing with Brandon Ayuk last year. You have certain fans that believe like, well, this guy's under contract. He has got no leverage. People believe that Terry McLaurin has no leverage. Like, he's 30, he's under contract, he can't sit out because if he sits out, this, that, and third. And it's just like, of course he has leverage. This is a real human being. You cannot just force him to play. And even if he does play, if you think that you are now building a culture and setting up a team of players that want to be there, you're hurting your ability to build a Super Bowl winning culture and a Super Bowl winning team. And if you don't trade him, if you really play hardball, and if he sits out of this, like, I promise you, players are going to look at you, the franchise, more than Terry McLaurin. You are going to sour the locker room. The players within that locker room are going to look and say, why can't you just pay Terry, man? Like, we were so great. He's been here for years. We finally have a team that we can win a Super Bowl. What are you doing? And especially now, like, he wants out. Fine, you don't want to pay him. Trade him then. Why are you trying to force him to play on a $22 million, pretty much underpaid? And I guarantee you the locker room will support Terry McLaurin more than they're going to support any other guy wearing a suit and tie in that building. Guarantee. So, like, that's what you have to understand about, like, these are real human beings. These are not characters in a Madden video game. This is not fantasy football. You can't force anyone to do anything. They are not machines. Like my orthopedic surgeon would always say, you are not a machine. When your body breaks and we have to fix it, it's not like, oh, we just got to change out this part and put in a new part. It's not the way this works. And so when you're dealing with Micah, like he's just a piece that it's just like part of the game, part of the whatever. No, it's not. It is a real human being. It is a real human being. And you need to create a culture and a place that is conducive to winning. It's not just X's and O's. It's not just having a good enough talent pool. It's more than that. We know that without a shadow of a doubt because it's how it's always been. It's the way it's always been. You could just get away with a lot less back in like the 80s and 90s because we knew a lot less. We knew a lot less. So this is where when I see stuff like this, I'm just like, this to me is someone who's still operating in a way of just like, These are machines. These are pieces. This is part of the game. You know how many players, like Jerry Jones, like, you know how many players have requested a trade from me over the years? Plenty. And it's like, that's bad. Then that means you're bad at negotiating. Like, I don't know what you're talking, like, what are you talking about, man? Like, you're doing something wrong. You know how many girlfriends I've had over the years who threatened to break up with me? They never break up with me. It's like, why are we, like, What are you bragging about then at this point? Just bizarre. It just continues to be bizarre. Those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about this soap opera between Jerry Jones, Micah Parsons, and the Dallas Cowboys? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.